All right, good afternoon, cyber traders, and welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, December 28th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin, make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. I usually say that, I always say that actually, but more so now than ever because I just walked in right back into my home office. I was at the actual office located in Syosset today. Great to see Greg, Mike, Debbie, Leda, Tim, Gary, Michael D, or Michael M, I should say, Kathleen, William, David, Troy. All right, cool. So, yeah, I mean, I was in the office today in Syosset, just came back right now, so I just wanted to do a quick test. My internet was in and out today, so I had to just jump over. But, great to see everybody today. Nonetheless, for a holiday Monday, we're coming off Christmas, heading into the new year, of course. You would expect things to be pretty slow, but there was a lot out there. I mean, really, as soon as 7 a.m. this morning, that was up big. And from there throughout the day, if it wasn't those stocks that we ended up trading after 9:30, there were new ones that came up afterwards that popped, got halted. Obviously, right now, Nikola is still strong heading into the afternoon. So, after the market opened up, this didn't really show as much action in pre-market, I mean, in terms of a trend. But nonetheless, just, after the open took off, Fausto called this one out right away. Has since gone up. So it ended up moving up towards a high at first of just about 1530-ish, we'll call it. From there, pulled right back down, ended up, just basically dying off. You'd figure that would be the end of the run. That's it. Maybe see a second little move up, but man, this thing just exploded up on heading into the early parts of the afternoon. So here we are, 2:30 Eastern, heading into the final hour and a half of the day. It's just kind of teasing over 16 here, 140,000, or actually, what? There's the pop. There we go. It's just about to say 140,000+ share order on the ask at 16. You'll see that here on the tape. Time and sales just got filled in green, some in purple, but nonetheless, you're looking for the break over 16. You're looking for the confirmation of prints over 16, which I don't really see yet. So for right now, I mean, just make sure your stops are set if anyone's still in this trade. Look strong in terms of the chart. So here comes some more buying here off of 1610 probably. All right, well, for the meantime here, Nikola, to start things off, hopefully it's just as easy of a trade as it is to just put this on our list. So we'll start things off with that. All right, perfect. So what we'll do pretty much, I mean, just to make it easy, I always just do this anyway, just down the line, but we'll go from top to bottom here. Just the ACY will start off with up, I guess, 1,300+%. That's actually a real number just based from Thursday's close. But we ended up seeing this just explode heading into the mid to late morning. Like a very low float stock. I think it was like just over a 1 million share float. But once this ended up getting halted on the way up, it just kept getting halted for every time it reopened up. There was never really, an opportunity to really jump in on this trade. I'll zoom in on the chart. This goes to show how long the stock has been halted since 11:04 Eastern this morning. But first halt came in right around 10:15, got halted at like $8.18. And then when it reopens up, you don't just instantly jump in right away. There was an entry perhaps off of 8 if you were like that bullish on it. But, for a low float move that was up already well over 100%, like 200 at that point. The question that you got to ask is, when is it going to pull back? So, for as much as it has moved up now at this point, you still have to ask that question, right? I mean, I had asked before and, well, I didn't take part, so I missed out on this trade, but, I don't really care too much about that. This thing's going to reopen up on the way down. It's not going to like reopen and explode up that much higher. I don't even know what the news is on this trade. I'll look on Benzinga Pro right now. I was kind of in transit when Rich L posted inside the trading room here, but take a look on ACY for right now, if this could load up. All right, so let's see. Aero Century, name of the company, says the NYSE halted the stock amid unusual market activity in the stock. The company confirms it is not aware of any undisclosed material change. So I'm going to just copy and paste that, but that's all I see from Benzinga Pro here in the meantime. All right, so that's the news, or I should say lack thereof, perhaps, on this trade. But it wouldn't shock me if the news out on this, aside from the NYSE halting it, it really wouldn't shock me if it's not from this reopen coming up, then perhaps from, maybe tomorrow or maybe even later on this afternoon or later in the week, who knows. But common stock or direct offering of shares, you're going to usually see that after a small cap stock like this makes a huge run up. So it wouldn't shock me if that's the reason why right now, but they're saying the NYSE halted it. So, we'll see what happens coming up. All right, so ACY, we're gonna put this on our watch list. I like to emphasize that phrase watch list because it's not the CTU. We're just gonna jump in this list, right? It's the CTU watch list. We're literally just gonna watch this just to study from. That's all. If it ends up reopening up at all, so we'll kind of just watch this for fun. All right, so at this point we'll kind of keep going. I'd say the same with RHE. Got halted on the way down after like 11:30 this morning, and it has since not opened yet. So I'll do the same thing on RHE. Just, I don't know. Ended up making a big squeeze up earlier today. I know a bunch of us walked in and out on these trades for like 50 cents, a dollar. You're in and out essentially scalping it. So for those that ended up making money on this, congratulations. For those that have questions on these trades and that would want me to go over this perhaps for our Traders Talk workshop tomorrow, folks, you should know what to do at this point. But send over a quick email. Send your trades over, that is, right to josh@ctutrading.com. And we'll review them tomorrow. But for those that ended up jumping in off the highs here, expecting it to keep going, just that's the reason personally why I stay away from these trades. Now, the same exact thing on this RHE stock, the news or lack thereof, it says that the company confirms it is not aware of any undisclosed material change in business operations or affairs. So I'm not going to copy and paste that now, but that's the news. All right. Well, how about one that we can trade? How about one that we actually know of? BTBT. I didn't really know much of this stock until pre-market this morning. Let me ask for everybody here in the trading room, at least. The name of the company. Is there anything in the name of the company that stands out to you? Maybe that kind of we've been following recently here. The name of the company is Bit Digital. Bit Digital Inc., I should say. Michael says Bit, exactly. Gary's asking Bitcoin, exactly. Lori, yes, Bitcoin. So, BT, I was not aware of. You know me, I'm like, Barry Bitcoin here in this trading room at this point. BT, I was never really aware of until this morning. As you could see back in, November, heading into December, ended up making a nice move. But BT essentially is a company, I'm going to pull this up just to be exact. If it's not similar to Riot and Mara, in which they mine Bitcoin here. Here we go. So Bit Digital is engaged in the Bitcoin mining business. Its mining platform operates with the primary intent of accumulating Bitcoin, which may sell for fiat currency from time to time, depending on market conditions. So yeah, it's similar to Riot and Mara in that sense. So it's nice to see a new player in the field, as in like another Bitcoin or blockchain type stock that we could follow. Over the last few days prior to today, this stock's been trading barely over 1 million shares on average. So, I'd like to see a lot more out of it. Like Riot and Mara trade, millions and millions and millions of shares a day. I'm sure over time we're going to see a lot more volume being traded on this. Today, trading 53 million. I don't think the float's too low on this, so hopefully the liquidity kind of like keeps at like penny or two spread. You can see the order book's thinning out even right now, or it has from earlier today, I should say. But yeah, BTBT, it ended up dropping off from earlier today. I'm not as keen to put this on our main watch list for this afternoon, but definitely one to watch for this entire week and going forward. Like I'm going to watch this with Ryan and Mara pretty much right away, at this point in the pre-market. All right, so we got Andreas Marps, M-A-R-P-S. I say Andreas because back when was it? Like in end of October here, somewhere around here. Probably this day, if not beforehand. We called it out, pump and dump move. Andrea made a killing on it. Nice trade, but it's making the same move today as it made back from those days. Ended up, moving up, got halted like 15 times on the way up, got halted 16 times on the way down, and you could just see it's an ugly chart. So, maybe from earlier, it was a nice call out, but for right now, it's kind of wacky. Not a big fan of wacky. If you want to gamble, be my guest, but I'd rather follow something that has more certainty to it. Well, as of right now, this AMRH definitely has a certain trend to it, right? Pushing up pretty nicely off the lows, ended up dropping off of 3 recently, so it's technically kind of in this consolidation. But, for right now, this AMRH, we'll keep this on our list, hopeful that it's strong enough to, test 3 again, perhaps break over it. ATIF, pump and dump. I think this was a lower float stock, if I'm not mistaken, today. I would let you know, but my notepad's at the office. All right, what else do we have here? Just keep going down. The EQQS, got warrants here. Not going to look at that, but the regular one here, is this another like SPAC company? I don't know. You folks let me know here. EQOS, all-time highs, I'd imagine. I can't really go back on the daily chart here. Just the order book's too thin. I mean, obviously it's pushing up nicely right now, but it just, we'll see if there's anything that just looks better in terms of the volume on the book. There was another SPAC from today earlier, this morning, another acquisition company that we traded, BFT. So we'll check in with that perhaps. Craig, pump and dump, just big move up and down quick. GRNQ. All right, so GRNQ, another soon to be Bitcoin related company. I guess they are already, but company announced that they're going to have a Bitcoin fund, in terms of their like assets and revenue. So, pushed up earlier today, it pulled back down a bit here right now. I still feel like it's kind of at support, maybe 180 here at the bottom, but maybe we'll see a small squeeze up over time. It's just on too slick of a downtrend for right now. So I was calling it out from earlier, but wasn't too really jumpy to take the trade. BTU, not much going on there. DPW, formerly in the Bitcoin business, maybe they're back at it, right? You never know, but we're actually looking on Benzinga Pro for this. DPW used to run with Mara and Riot back in the day, 3-4 years ago, when the last time Bitcoin ran up. News out on DPW today, it just looks like they were awarded a $1.1 million military contract, power solutions and satellite controlled tactical systems. All right, cool. Sounds interesting. Nonetheless, though, it's pushing up pretty nicely for us heading into this afternoon. So I like where it's at right now. I'll just put this on our main list for the meantime here. I like this kind of alongside the Nikola. Just going to jump to Nikola quick. Norman looks like he just picked up 31 cents off it. Whew, nice catch. Yeah, Nikola, look at this pop off 16. That was the major level to watch. So, of course it moved up before the breakout over 16, but it took a little while for it to make that move. So once it made that pop, it didn't take long after for Norman to, walk away with a nice 31-cent profit. Excellent. Pretty much right off the highs as of now. And, hey, if it keeps going up, who cares? That's a hell of a trade. All right, let's keep it moving. What else do we have here? We got Bingo, BNGO. Pop from earlier today, but not much now. All right. Folks, how about this? I'm just going to skim through fast. If there's anything that you see that looks really good, just type it in the chat board. Anything that looks good that's up for right now. We got to hop over to losers list in a moment. Riot on the way down. That could be an interesting short opportunity. It's always tradable. So personally, maybe if Fausto was doing the meeting himself, he wouldn't be as jumpy to put it on our main list just looking at it here. But I like it either way, long or short. It is shortable. So hey, if it ends up re-breaking support, perhaps this 1575, perhaps this 1570, we'll see it make a sharper move on the way down. And then, I got to say, I was about to move on, but otherwise, I just cut myself off there in my tracks. But, follow Bitcoin. Follow if there's a live chart that you have of Bitcoin. I'll copy and paste for all of us here in the trading room in just a moment. But, just follow Bitcoin. If it ends up making a big pop, then look to see what Riot and Mara end up doing with it. It popped overnight, popped over the weekend. So Bitcoin's kind of shaking around right now. Not much going on here aside from kind of lower highs and dragging back down. Riot, that is. I didn't mean to go trigger happy here. We're going to jump back to Givo. NXTD, not much going on there, but Givo just made a nice little move up over 440. I was going to say, I thought the opening bell print this morning was right off 440. So it's pretty interesting that it's making that move here. So, Givo is trading 49 plus million shares for right now. I'm going to check the float on this just for the meantime. Givo float, 114 million shares. So it's not even really trading up to its float just yet. We've seen stocks trade, 33 times its float, like ACY, literally. So, for right now, Givo, it kind of looks stuck in the middle. but I'm going to give this a second look. Put this near the middle or the bottom of our list for right now. It's a nice level 1 stock. Got Nikola there already on the top of our list personally, but all right, we'll hop over. Let's see, I actually got one more. See, Norman saying, and I was going to look at it. Yeah, the Mogo stock. We've called this out. We've traded the stock in the past. It's up 21%. It's at the highs right now. More buying coming in off 444, 445. I would imagine that to be a stronger level than 450, but I would still wait to see what happens over 450 first. Potential refreshing at the ask at that price. It only shows 2,800 shares, but there could be a lot more. We covered that in the phase 2 stock course just last week. Yeah, I mean, Mogo looks pretty good for the meantime here. I'll kind of slip it in the middle of our list as well. Kind of right there with Gevo. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list for right now, folks. If there's anything else that looks good that's up, just type it in the chat board. I'll come back to it. APRE, I'm not going to copy and paste the news on this thing, but I got to take this off for my social media. Sorry about that. APRE down 77%. I'm not going to copy and paste the news for right now. It's not really doing much of anything here. It is shortable, and there still could be more room on the way down. I mean, you'd figure down 77%. That's pretty risky, but we've seen stocks just not fill up, but they continue to drop off over time after being down 77+%. So it is shortable. It kind of looks like it's ready to move lower here, but for right now, I'm going to keep this off our list. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, or this week, perhaps I should say. Yeah, but for the meantime, we'll kind of pass on this. Aside from that, bunch of other stuff that's hard to borrow. Not really a lot of stuff that's down a lot. Market's up today. Ooh, SPWR down 11%. Dropped off earlier heading into the afternoon. Kind of spiked up quickly, though. It's tradable. It's down over 11%. Spreads still pretty tight. Order book starting to thin out a little bit there. Like the order size, not that big. I'm not going to force myself to it. We've had a pretty good day today. I mean, to the point where, we're not going to really force anything out there on our list. Heading into like a holiday week still. Container store, if I really wanted to, I could put this on our list, just in terms of seeing if it could break lower. But again, not really itching for it. All right, folks, if there's anything else, let me know. David C. asking just generally the cruise line. So, in terms of moving with the market today, at least earlier in the morning, CCL, nice run. CCL made a nice move from earlier today, essentially off that 21 level, popped up, made a dollar move, pop and drop from 22 there. CCL looks pretty flat for right now. NCLH, I'd only imagine the same. Yeah, not a whole lot happening for right now. Like, just as far as the day trade, David, they look strong in terms of moving with the market, being near the highs for the afternoon. I'd say NCLH more than CCL, but from Michael, he's asking if a stock is halted, does it have to open before the close? No, it doesn't have to. Let's take a look at MARPS. Like Andreas saying, MARPS is reopened. Yeah, on the way down, not really looking that good. At least not a big gap down this time, but dropped off though pretty quick. Donnie calling out PLTR short. Ooh, down 6+% looks like at 26 whole number. Kind of similar to Riot, right? Like both have made big moves that are not related to one another, but in the sense of like liquidity in terms of seeing just, tradable stock, I don't mind putting this on our main list for right now. It looks pretty interesting here, Donnie. Good call. 26. We just zoom in on the daily chart really fast. So this stock was kind of like floating over 27.50 for a while, and then today like broke down below it pretty fast. But it looks like kind of right around 26 seems to be historical support. If not 26, I would even go as low as 25. All right, so good call for right now. Norman saying EVGN worth watching, up 29%. So I like that. Liquidity checks out. A bit of a spread, but I'm not like too worried about that. I just, for right now, we're going to kind of keep this on the side list for right now, Norman, or as Fausto would say, the B list. If it ends up making a bit further of a pop over that last peak, perhaps off like 580, 575, we can keep it in mind. So not bad. And then he says Jivo pop. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So at least that kind of confirms why we're following Jivo heading into the afternoon. A lot of buying coming in there right off that 444 to 450 we were talking about. Actually, well, 450 initially, and then from there, 454. And obviously at this point, it's kind of shaking around that 450 level now. So yeah, just make sure that this could hold a higher low. Make sure this could hold 450 at this point. Hopefully to see this shoot up a lot higher coming up. From Lita Craig, nah, not really. Not a whole lot going on there. Already made its move from earlier. If you're in it now, then good job, but I'm not really too jumpy on it. Sorry, from Lewis earlier. I'm going from down to up. So, all right. So Lewis says Neo's been holding support at 44 for a while, or basically. Yeah, I mean, for a little bit, it bounced essentially over it earlier. It broke under it, broke back over it, and a lot of buying coming in off the rebreaks. So it's moved up 50 cents higher. And for right now, I mean, it's just always a tradable stock to me, $44, $45 stock now. So, just even on the ATR side on the daily chart, it's dropped off quite a bit. It's, lagging, perhaps one can say, but, you could still say the stock moves a $3 move on average per day. So, very tradable stock in the mornings. And right now, perhaps you could say the same. Just, you could say that about a lot of other trades, though, right? Say that about the AMD trade, like Square, like all of those. So that's just where I say if you do well on Neo, then follow it into the afternoon. If you do well on an AMD, like that's always going to take priority over a stock that you're not as familiar with or a stock that you don't do as well on, right? So we always say that in class. If there's a stock that you are very good at or very familiar with and you do well on, and it's just tradable, right? Like AMD, like Neo, etc., then follow it. Like the cruise lines, perhaps. I don't really see as much movement in those, but you could say the same. All right, folks. So I think that just about does it. 2, 4, 6, 8, and yeah, I think that's just about it. I was gonna look at Benzinga Pro really fast, and I'll do that really quick here. Kind of running late on time here. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back on the mic at 3:30 in the afternoon, folks, for all of us inside the trading room. Just going to look on Benzinga Pro really quick. Got one look here on this stock, SOL. Hey, 21%. Pushing up nicely. Looking good. I would say big resistance ahead at 12, but order book pretty thin. After like 1194. There is like 8,300 shares on the ask at 12 so far, so hopefully. All right, this looks pretty good. All right, that just about does it, folks. For all of us on social media, just always make sure to like, subscribe, notify. We've said that in the past, but heading into 2021, the next calendar year ahead, we're going to be doing a lot more kind of surprise live streaming, so always make sure that you look to notify so you know that when we're going live, when we're not. And for all of us in the trading room, like I had said, I'll jump back on the mic in the next 30 or so minutes heading into the afternoon. Take care.